Hello, I'm Noel. This is Antonia from Boxtail Soup Theatre Company, and although the last couple of vlogs that we've done have been about our progress on Gulliver, working on that show, as we've mentioned, in the meantime, we've also been continuing with the Grimm Tales tour, so we've been to various venues here and there. So I think instead of describing it all sat here, I'm just going to show you some of the footage that we took along the way. So this is a few of the venues that we visited on the last leg of the tour. So yesterday we were at the Exchange in Twickenham, which was a venue we'd not been to before. It was a really lovely space and they took great care of us there. They were absolutely lovely. So we had a good time. What we didn't realise was that the rugby sevens were on in Twickenham. So the kind of surrounding area was filled with thousands of people going to the rugby, all dressed in crazy costumes. So that kept us really entertained in the gap between our afternoon performance of Little Grimm Tales and our evening performance of Great Grimm Tales. We basically sat in the foyer and watched all the people going past in all of these crazy costumes, which was very entertaining. Today we're in Swindon at Swindon Arts Centre, and again we're doing Little Grimm Tales. We've finished that one for this afternoon, which was lovely. We had a great audience in for that, and we've got Great Grimm Tales this evening. Then, once we've finished here, we head over to Cheltenham. We're there until Friday doing both shows. Then we're in Blythe on Saturday and Doncaster on Sunday. And that's the end of the tour. So we're really trying to enjoy these performances, the last few performances, as much as we possibly can. And I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't look too much like I've got a tree growing out the top of my head. Anyway, I'm going to go and get changed and get ready for this evening's performance.
So as you can see, we visited lots of different kinds of venues, even did Little Grimm Tales outside again, which was fun. And I think, as Noel mentioned when he was chatting in Swindon after the show there, we moved to Cheltenham and had a few lovely shows there. But then unfortunately on last Friday, Ali was unwell and unable to continue the tour. So we had to cancel the Great Grimm Tales for that evening and then the Great Grimm Tales for the following evening as well. And we just wanted to say a big apology really to anyone who had tickets for those shows. We really did want to do the show for you, and we tried. We had a discussion of how we might be able to put together a 2-person version of Great Grimm Tales for you.
We were trying to think whether we could get anybody else, call them up to step in, or whether we could do it with, if there was any way we could do it with 2 people, because the last thing we want to do is have to cancel a show.
But unfortunately, it just wasn't. It wasn't going to happen. It was too tricky to work it out for the 2 of us. And so we are sorry about that. However, we did also have Little Grimm Tales on Friday at 2 p.m. and then Little Grimm Tales the following couple of days in Blyth and then in Doncaster. And we really didn't want to have to cancel everything, so we had a coffee and a chat, and then
we had like a 50-minute intense conversation as we talked through the whole show and basically figured out how we could do it with 2 people. And Little Grimm Tales in that sense is a little bit more forgiving, because Great Grimm Tales is it's
got quite an intricate plot. So if you've seen it, you'll understand what we mean. If you haven't, we don't want to give it away. At some point we will do the show again, but it's got these sort of interweaving threads, and it's very much got 3 main characters who are equally important.
It's very much contained within the world of the story. Whereas with Little Grimm Tales, we're addressing the audience a lot more.
Exactly.
There's a lot more room for silliness, and therefore there's a lot more room to get away with any potential moments where
we're having to sort of rush around a little bit.
Exactly. Where somebody has to kind of address the audience with a bit of narration or something like that.
Exactly.
So it makes things a little easier.
It was something that we thought, well, we're not going to, because what we didn't want to do is give anyone a kind of substandard performance. No. So it was important that obviously you want the show must go on, as they like to say, but there are limits within that, and you still want to give a good performance to anyone who's watching.
Absolutely.
So we managed to do a 2-person Little Grimm, which we did first on Friday, and we were very glad to be in Cheltenham for that first one. Not least because we know the venue very well. Corin, our wonderful technician there, we trust and know that if he had thought that it didn't work, he would have told us and said, look guys, I think you're fighting a losing battle, you should go home.
Yes, it's nice to have an outside opinion.
So we knew that he would tell us, and also we know a lot of the audience there are people who've come to see us before, and we knew they were a very friendly crowd. So thank you to the audience who were there on Friday, because you were very supportive, and
Absolutely.
And it was a lovely show actually, and the children were laughing a lot, and that made us feel confident. And then we went on to do that show, the two-person version again in Blyth at the Phoenix Theatre, and then at Cast in Doncaster yesterday. And it's safe to say that people seem
Well, I was incredibly pleased that I think because that first performance in Cheltenham, we weren't entirely certain how it was going to go. So we even mentioned it to the audience at the beginning and just explained what the situation was, and and said that we hope they enjoyed it. And when they spoke to us afterwards, we had loads of lovely comments. So I really do hope that everybody did enjoy it. Then for the Phoenix Theatre and for Cast, because we felt that it had worked and we would be able to remember, and we felt a little more confident about how the whole thing would hang together. We didn't mention it to anyone, and I was really pleased with the responses that we had, because we go and we speak to some of the audience after the show, and often they'll let us know whether they've enjoyed it or not, and the comments were fantastic. So it was extremely gratifying to have been able to do that, to enjoy the performances, because we did have fun.
We did actually. We had a lot of fun. It was, it's always sad. It was sad not to finish the tour in the way that we would have liked, but we did have a huge amount of fun. I particularly with the second two, and not that we didn't have fun on Friday, but it was just more that we were
There was a lot to
really
think
having
about.
to concentrate.
Yeah.
Whereas then once we'd done it once, we were like, okay, this feels okay.
Yeah. And when you hear them all laughing and joining in and shouting,
we found some new gags, didn't we?
Yeah.
When there's just the two of us, there were a couple of little other bits that were funny. You know, you lose a couple of gags without the third, but then you gained a few more with So it was fun, and I'm really glad. We were both really, really glad that we could still do that and make sure that people got the show that they were supposed to have. So,
and I think we were quite proud in the end as well. We didn't think about it at the time because we were just focused on
doing it,
what we were doing. But after we'd finished that last performance, I think we did kind of then take a moment to go, wow, we just kind of rejigged the whole thing very quickly then, and we should be kind of proud to have pulled off a good performance.
Yeah. So it was interesting, and it was fun, but not quite how we had expected.
Yeah. Not necessarily something I'd choose to repeat.
No, no. But there we are. So yes. So that was our week, and we are now back in the studio, as you can see, obviously, and we're about to start back on Gulliver's Travels. So the first job we've got to do, in fact, is clear everything out of the trunk, so get all the Little Grimm stuff and the Great Grimm stuff back into the store. And then currently in the trunk we want to use for Gulliver's Travels, it's being inhabited by Christmas Carol puppets, so they need to be shipped out of there and into the other one so we can get that one ready for the show and start measuring up to make sure that the set actually fits, which is the trickiest thing actually for this one, as always. But we'll be getting on with that today. So thank you very much as always for watching, and please do give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the new subscribers, it's lovely to have you, and we'll see you again next time.